Powerlifting is a competitive strength sport centered on three main lifts: the squat, the bench press, and the deadlift. The objective is to lift as much weight as possible for a single repetition in each lift. Athletes are given 3 attempts per lift, and their heaviest successful attempt is added together for a total score. The sport emphasizes maximum strength, strict technique, and proper form, as each lift must meet judging standards such as depth in the squat or lockout in the deadlift. Training is usually structured around progressive overload, meaning athletes gradually increase the weight lifted over time to build strength. Assistance exercises like rows, pull-ups, and lunges are also used to strengthen supporting muscles. Unlike bodybuilding, which focuses on appearance, powerlifting is purely performance-based. Competitions are divided by weight class, gender, and age group, ensuring fair comparisons of strength. Olympic weightlifting is a strength and power sport contested in the Olympic Games and governed by the International Weightlifting Federation. It consists of 2 lifts, the snatch and the clean and jerk. The snatch requires the lifter to move a barbell from the ground to overhead in one continuous motion. The clean and jerk is a 2-part lift, where the bar is first cleaned to the shoulders, then jerked overhead. Both lifts demand a blend of strength, speed, coordination, flexibility, and precision technique. Unlike powerlifting, where the goal is to move the heaviest possible weight in simple motions, Olympic lifting emphasizes explosive power and mobility. Training includes not only the competition lifts, but also accessory movements like front squats, pulls, and overhead stability drills. Success depends heavily on technical efficiency, as small errors in timing or positioning can prevent the lift. Competitions are organized by weight class, gender, and total combined weight lifted. Bodybuilding is a discipline focused on developing muscular size, proportion, and definition through resistance training, strict nutrition, and conditioning. Unlike performance-based sports, bodybuilding is judged primarily on appearance. Athletes aim to create a balanced physique with symmetry between muscle groups, low body fat, and visible muscular detail. Training typically involves higher volume weightlifting, with a combination of compound exercises, such as bench presses or squats, and isolation movements like bicep curls or lateral raises. The goal is hypertrophy, muscle growth achieved through progressive overload and time under tension. Nutrition is equally critical, with carefully managed protein intake to support muscle repair, along with carbohydrate and fat manipulation for energy and aesthetics. Prior to competitions, athletes undergo a cutting phase to reduce body fat while maintaining muscle, often using precise diet, cardio, and dehydration techniques. Presentation is also vital. Competitors perform choreographed posing routines to showcase muscle definition, symmetry, and overall conditioning. CrossFit is a high-intensity fitness methodology that combines elements of weightlifting, gymnastics, and cardiovascular conditioning into constantly varied workouts. It is structured around the concept of functional movements, meaning exercises that mimic real-life activities, such as squats, pulls, pushes, and jumps. Training sessions, often called WODs, workouts of the day, typically involve circuits or timed challenges blending barbell lifts, body weight movements like pull-ups or burpees, and endurance work such as running or rowing. The intensity is designed to improve strength, power, stamina, agility, and cardiovascular capacity simultaneously. Unlike traditional sports focused on one discipline, CrossFit aims to create well-rounded athletes capable of performing across multiple domains of fitness. Community is a core component. Workouts are usually performed in group settings to encourage accountability in competition. While the training builds resilience and versatility, critics caution about the risk of injury if proper form and progression are not prioritized. Calisthenics is a bodyweight-based discipline that focuses on strength, control, and mobility without the need for external weights. Movements include push-ups, pull-ups, dips, squats, and core exercises, which can be scaled for beginners or progressed into advanced skills such as muscle-ups, front levers, planches, and handstands. The discipline emphasizes relative strength, the ability to move one's body efficiently, rather than raw maximal lifting. Training develops not only muscular endurance, but also joint stability, coordination, and flexibility. Because calisthenics relies on minimal equipment, it is highly accessible and can be performed virtually anywhere, from parks to gyms. Over time, practitioners often progress from basic repetition-focused workouts to skill mastery, where precision and technique determine performance. Advanced calisthenics is often showcased through freestyle routines or street workouts that blend strength elements with dynamic movements. The discipline builds functional fitness useful in everyday life, as it mirrors natural human movement patterns like climbing, pushing, and balancing. Marathon running is an endurance discipline that covers a standardized distance of 26.2 miles. It demands exceptional aerobic capacity, muscular endurance, and mental resilience. Unlike shorter races, success in a marathon relies heavily on energy management and pacing. Runners must train their bodies to efficiently use glycogen and transition to fat as an energy source over long distances. Training programs typically span months and include long runs to build endurance, interval training for speed, tempo runs for sustained effort, and recovery sessions to prevent overtraining. Nutrition plays a vital role, with carbohydrate loading before race day and fueling strategies such as energy gels or sports drinks during the event to delay fatigue. Proper footwear and running form are critical to reduce injury risks from repetitive impact. Marathon running also tests mental fortitude, as completing the distance often requires overcoming physical exhaustion and psychological barriers during the later miles. Triathlon is a multi-discipline endurance sport that combines swimming, cycling, and running in a single continuous event. Standard Olympic distance triathlons consist of a 1.5-kilometer swim, a 40-kilometer bike ride, and a 10-kilometer run, though distances vary in sprint, half Ironman, and full Ironman formats. Success in triathlon requires not only proficiency in all three sports, but also the ability to transition smoothly between them, known as T1, swim to bike, and T2, bike to run. Training programs are highly structured, balancing endurance, speed, and recovery across each discipline while addressing weaknesses. Nutrition and hydration strategies are critical, especially in longer races, to prevent energy depletion and dehydration. Equipment also plays a role, with specialized triathlon bikes, wetsuits, and aerodynamic gear enhancing performance. Beyond physical conditioning, mental stamina is essential, as athletes must sustain effort for hours under varying conditions. Triathlon develops overall endurance, versatility, and the capacity to adapt under fatigue. Cycling, as an endurance discipline, focuses on sustained power output and cardiovascular efficiency over long distances. It can be pursued recreationally, competitively on the road, or through track and mountain biking variations. Training develops both aerobic and anaerobic capacity, as cyclists must handle extended efforts along with bursts of high-intensity sprints or climbs. A key performance metric is power-to-weight ratio, which measures how much power a rider can generate relative to body weight, crucial for climbing and speed. Endurance rides, interval training, and hill repeats are core methods to build stamina and strength. Equipment plays a significant role, with lightweight frames, aerodynamic positioning, and gear optimization directly influencing results. Nutrition and hydration strategies are equally important, since glycogen depletion can cause bonking or sudden fatigue. Cycling also demands technical skills like pacing, cornering, and group riding dynamics, particularly in races where drafting and positioning determine overall performance. Swimming is an endurance and strength discipline that engages nearly every major muscle group while minimizing joint stress due to water's buoyancy. It is performed across various strokes: freestyle, breaststroke, backstroke, and butterfly, each requiring specific technique and energy efficiency. Endurance swimming emphasizes aerobic capacity, breath control, and muscular stamina, while sprint distances demand explosive power and speed. Training often includes interval sets to improve cardiovascular endurance, drills to refine stroke mechanics, and resistance work like paddles or kickboards to build strength. A major challenge in swimming is hydrodynamics. Reducing drag through streamlined body position and efficient technique is as important as strength. Breathing patterns must also be synchronized with stroke rhythm, making lung capacity and control critical. In competitive contexts, starts, turns, and finishes can significantly affect performance. Beyond competition, swimming is also a foundational skill for other endurance sports such as triathlon, where efficiency in water conserves energy for later stages. Boxing is a combat sport and endurance discipline that combines striking skill with cardiovascular conditioning, agility, and muscular endurance. Athletes compete in timed rounds, typically 3 minutes long, with 1-minute rest periods. The goal is to outscore an opponent through effective punches or win by knockout. Success in boxing depends on speed, accuracy, footwork, and defensive skills, such as blocking, slipping, and counterpunching. Training is highly demanding, blending aerobic and anaerobic conditioning through jump rope, heavy bag work, pad drills, sparring, and road work. Long-distance running. Strength training is often included to enhance punching power, while high-intensity intervals replicate the stop-and-go nature of a fight. Mental toughness and strategy are just as important, as fighters must adapt to opponents' styles under physical fatigue. Weight management also plays a major role, since competitions are divided by weight classes. Boxing develops overall endurance, explosive power, and resilience in high-stress, physically taxing environments. Mixed martial arts, MMA, is a combat sport that integrates techniques from multiple disciplines, including boxing, wrestling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, kickboxing, and Muay Thai. Fighters compete in timed rounds inside a cage or ring, aiming to win by knockout, submission, or judge's decision. Unlike single-discipline combat sports, MMA requires athletes to be proficient in both striking and grappling, making versatility essential. Training is multifaceted. Stand-up sessions develop striking accuracy and defense, while ground training focuses on submissions, takedowns, and positional control. Conditioning blends aerobic endurance for sustained effort and anaerobic bursts for explosive movements like takedowns or striking flurries. Strength training, flexibility, and recovery protocols are also critical due to the sport's intensity. Weight cutting is common to compete in lower divisions, though it carries risks if not managed properly. Success in MMA demands not only physical preparation, but also adaptability, as fighters must transition seamlessly between striking and grappling situations. Obstacle course racing, OCR, is an endurance sport that combines running with physically demanding obstacles spread throughout the course. Popular formats include Spartan Race, Tough Mudder, and Warrior Dash, with distances ranging from short sprints to marathon-length challenges. Obstacles often involve climbing walls, crawling under barbed wire, carrying heavy objects, wading through mud, or navigating rope climbs. Unlike pure distance running, OCR requires a mix of aerobic endurance, muscular strength, grip strength, and agility. Training usually blends running with functional strength work, such as pull-ups, carries, and bodyweight movements to simulate race demands. Core and upper body strength are particularly important for overcoming obstacles that test grip and pulling power. Mental toughness is also a key factor, as competitors must deal with unpredictable conditions like mud, cold water, and fatigue. OCR develops a well-rounded athlete who can combine speed with strength and adaptability in challenging environments. High-intensity interval training, HIIT, is a conditioning method that alternates between short bursts of near-maximal effort and periods of low-intensity recovery or rest. Unlike steady-state cardio, HIIT focuses on pushing the heart rate close to its maximum during work intervals, which can range from 20 seconds to a few minutes depending on the protocol. Common exercises include sprints, cycling, kettlebell swings, burpees, or bodyweight circuits. The primary goal is to improve both aerobic and anaerobic capacity in a shorter time frame than traditional endurance training. HIIT stimulates the afterburn effect, excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, meaning the body continues to burn calories at an elevated rate after the workout. Sessions are usually 15 to 30 minutes, but deliver significant improvements in cardiovascular fitness, fat loss, and muscular endurance. However, due to its intensity, HIIT requires adequate recovery and proper technique to reduce injury risk, especially for beginners or those with limited conditioning. Strongman training is a strength and endurance discipline centered on lifting lifting, carrying, dragging, and pressing unusually heavy and awkward objects. Unlike powerlifting or Olympic lifting, which use standardized barbells, strongman events often involve implements such as Atlas stones, logs, yokes, farmers' carry handles, and giant tires. Each event tests a combination of maximal strength, explosive power, grip endurance, and overall conditioning. Competitions may include static lifts like the log press, dynamic challenges like the truck pull, or endurance-based events such as carrying a yoke for distance. Training is highly varied, blending traditional gym lifts, squats, deadlifts, presses, with event-specific practice to develop technique and efficiency with non-standard equipment. Because implements are irregular and unstable, athletes build functional strength that translates well to real-world tasks. Strongman also requires cardiovascular resilience, as many events are timed and demand repeated maximal efforts under fatigue. The sport emphasizes raw power, adaptability, and mental toughness under extreme physical strain.